That's a witch if ever I saw one. I should know because I bought one that burned my baby up on the stake. But believe me, this time it was not a mistake. This baby I bought was definitely cursed. If she'd lived, it would have been worse. A girl of pure evil with a death rattle cry. I saw Satan when I looked in her eyes. She had Satan in her eyes, she had Satan in her eyes. I could have screamed, I could have died. She had Satan in her eyes, she had Satan in her eyes. My first baby was not as described. Instead of 5 fingers, she had just 4 stumps. Her skin was like leather and covered in bumps. After a week, she turned dark green. She was revolting like nothing I'd seen. Her breath caught on fire whenever she laughed. The water would boil whenever she bathed. She grew long back hair that couldn't be tamed. Still after 1 week she hadn't been named. No words could describe such a hideous beast. Instead of milk she liked raw meat. Her tongue would extend to incredible lengths, left a pungent aroma wherever she went. She had Satan in her eyes, she had Satan in her eyes. I could have screamed, I could have died. She had Satan in her eyes, she had Satan in her eyes. My first baby was not as described. So I took her to church and I asked for their help. The priest turned white and let out a yelp. He told me my baby was cursed to the core and advised me quite strongly I shouldn't have any more. That baby of yours has demons inside. I'm sorry, my dear, she must be burned alive. I didn't protest and I didn't say no. To be honest, my friend, I was glad to let go. So we tied her up on a big old stake and marched her through town 7:45. The people went wild for blood and more. They'd tear her to pieces if she hit the floor. We set her on fire on top of the hill. The stench was horrendous, made everyone ill. There were screams through the valley that echoed through time. I couldn't believe that this baby was mine. It poured down her darkness as she burned down in flames. Her eyes were both dead and extremely deranged. No maternal instinct to something so rotten. My whole baby experience was glad to be forgotten. Witch Baby 2014. Charlie Tuesday Gates, October the 19th, 2057. Yeah.